Hello, bookworms! It's time for another book haul. I'm just gonna start. I have nothing else to say. The first thing that I picked up this month was a very begrudging purchase on my behalf. It's the hardcover box set of the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. Don't think I need to explain what it is because everyone in the world knows what Divergent is. It was made into a movie, and the second one was made into a movie. But I bought it because for all three hardcovers, it was only $15, and I got it during that awful Amazon Prime garage sale day. I just really wanted to buy something, and the only interesting thing that they had on there was the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray box set, but obviously I already own that, so I couldn't buy that. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll get this Divergent box set because the only thing that I'm really interested in out of this is the stories about 4, and then that wasn't even included. But I was just like, I just can't say no to 3 hardcovers for $15. I haven't even read past the first book because on principle, I was waiting until they came out in paperback because I got the first one and I was like, I need to get the rest of them in paperback now because I have the first one in paperback, and then it didn't come out for a year and a half. So I was like, forget this book. I'm mad at this series. I can't read anymore. So I waited and waited, and then I found out what happens in Allegiant, and I made the decision then to not read any more of the books because I was really angry about the ending, and I've heard a lot of people rant about it, so I just don't think that I can picture myself investing my time in it. But since I now have these hardcovers, perhaps I will pick it up if I feel like hate reading something. The next 3 books that I picked up are the Sword of Shannara series by Terry Brooks, and this I am super excited about because it's being turned into a TV show by MTV, and if you saw the trailer for it during Comic-Con, oh my god, it's beautiful. There's this whole Lord of the Rings feel, and it's filmed in New Zealand, which is also where Lord of the Rings was filmed, and it just looks like it's gonna be super, super amazing. It's high fantasy and it follows these elves, and it just looks like it's going to be something that's so up my alley. So I got this really cool 25th anniversary edition on Amazon for pretty cheap for all 3 books. And I know that the television series is going to start by adapting the second book in the series, but they said that anyone who reads the first book will just get more out of it because they'll have even more background. So that is my plan on what I'm gonna do. The next book that I picked up is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone, and this is a book that basically everyone in the booktube world has been talking about for the past month. It sounds like it would be really interesting. It's about this girl who has OCD, but a very specific type of OCD where she's just consumed by dark thoughts, and she's constantly worried, but she's a super popular girl and she is worried about losing that popularity, and she befriends this group of misfits at a club called Sam's Poetry Club, and it just sounds like it'll be really interesting because she's trying to keep up this facade of this fake perfect popular person, but she's finally becoming more comfortable with herself and really learning about who she is as a person when she meets this band of misfits. So I think that'll be really fun to just see her kind of go on that journey of self-exploration. The next book that I picked up is Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins, and this is the second book in the Rebel Belle series. I read Rebel Belle 2 months ago, I want to say, and I really enjoyed it. It was really quick paced, just a really fun adventure story with a main character that was very much like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's very quick-witted and has a wide wealth of pop culture, so I just thought it was really enjoyable, but I don't want to spoil the story because the first one kind of ended in a cliffhanger and it's going to pick up right where that left off, so you'll have to read the first one if you are interested in learning more about the second. The next book that I picked up is Tiny Pretty Things. This is by Sona Charaporta and Danielle Clayton, and this book was sold as Pretty Little Liars meets Black Swan, so right there, it immediately got my interest. That sounds like it's going to be amazing. Drama-filled ballerinas or something that I enjoy reading about. Tiffany from About to Read highly recommended this book, and I trust her opinion, so I'm excited to read this and then have someone to talk about it with as soon as I finish. The next 3 books that I picked up is the Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi, which is Shatter Me. The second one is Unravel Me. and the third book is Ignite Me. I never really had any interest in reading these until recently, and I was able to get them for really cheap, like talking like $5 a book between Amazon and Book Outlet. There were just really good sales. I'm not sure why. This is actually also being adapted into a television series, and I know that a lot of other booktubers talk about it and enjoy it, so I figured that I should probably give it a shot because I always saw these books with eyes on the cover and I was just like, I can't really tell what that's going to be about, but I think it's time that I give it a chance. Next, I have Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane, and this is a book that I haven't really heard about anywhere, like on book blogs or on BookTube, so I'm really excited to read it because it sounds like it would be something that everyone on like every book network would totally enjoy. It takes place in a world where the Great Library of Alexandria survived, and they are kind of like in charge of all of the knowledge in the world, and they determine what people are allowed to read and what they're not, and it's like expressly forbidden that no one is allowed to actually own the books. They're only allowed to get certain information from the library. And there is a boy, I believe, named Jess, and he is sent to kind of infiltrate the library. He's going through like a training to be part of library services, but he's actually like a spy to try to figure out what their deal is. And I believe it's going to be a series. It just sounds really good. Like, who wouldn't want to hear about a world where the Library of Alexandria actually like still exists? The next book that I have is Seraphina and the Black Cloak by Robert Beatty. And this book has a really beautiful book trailer. I'll link it down below so that you guys can look at it, but it was like absolutely totally gorgeous. It showed up in my Twitter feed like a whole lot of times. It's a historical middle grade novel, and it follows a girl named Seraphina who lives in the basement secretly of this Biltmore estate, and she teams up with the estate owner's nephew, and they go out to try to solve the mystery of why these children start disappearing one by one. So they team up to try to see why that's happening, and there is a mysterious man in a black cloak, and they are trying to uncover what's going on there. So it sounds like it would be a quick read, and just from like what I saw in the trailer, it just looks beautiful, and I just really love the cover, and it just sounds like it would be really entertaining. The next book that I have is The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, and this is the second book in the Kiss of Deception series. I read the first one this month, so you will hear more about that when I post my July wrap-up video. It's told from 3 different perspectives. There's a princess who leaves on her wedding day because she doesn't want to be stuck in this arranged marriage to this prince that she's never met, and then it's also told by that prince who goes to find her and an assassin that's sent to kill her, but you don't know who's the prince and who's the assassin until much later on in the book, and it's like really exciting, and it had a really crazy ending, so I'm really excited to be able to jump in and read this one like ASAP. The next book that I have is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and this is actually the only Rainbow Rowell book that I didn't own. It's my friend Christina Horner's favorite book of hers, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It's actually an adult novel, and it follows a guy who is an internet security person, and he's basically paid to like monitor work emails between people and see if there's anything going on that shouldn't be. But he starts reading the emails of these 2 women, and he ends up like falling in love with one because he just thinks that they're so funny, like, and he gets to hear all about their lives and everything. And obviously it's kind of like a strange, tangled situation because how can he really introduce himself to this person even though, like, you know, he's kind of knows everything about her life already. So it just sounds like it would be like a really interesting story, and I love Rainbow Rowell's writing, so I'm sure that I'm going to love this. The next book that I have is Hook by K.R. Thompson. This tells like kind of like a prequel story about Captain Hook and how he became the captain that he is today. Obviously love Peter Pan, and Amazon kept recommending this to me like every time that I would browse recommendations, and I loved like the beautiful blue cover, so I was like, okay, Amazon, I will take you up on this and order it and see if you are recommending good things for me. It also has really good ratings on Goodreads, so I think I'm going to end up really enjoying it. And finally, I have Radical Self-Love, A Guide to Loving Yourself and Living Your Dream by Gallagher, who is one of my favorite bloggers. She is a New York-based blogger, and she is constantly preaching radical self-love and learning to love yourself and be comfortable with who you are. And all of her posts are always just like very inspiring. She actually announced that this book, which was only available on Amazon, was only going to be available for 1 month because there was going to be some kind of future announcement. So I think that it was probably picked up by a publisher and it's going to be re-released, I would assume, like in hardcover with more photos and all that kind of good stuff. But I've been reading her blog for a really long time and I really, really like everything that she preaches. So I thought that I would just support her now while it's out. And if something comes out like in a better edition, I'll probably get that too. But I've just been reading her stuff for so long that I felt like I had to get it. So that is my July book haul. I obviously have added a ton of new things to my TBR and I'm very excited to get reading them. I actually recently added a new shelf to my Goodreads where I could see everything that I owned and haven't read, and it was rather eye-opening. So there's a chance that my August book haul video will be a lot smaller than they have in previous months. Here's hoping. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys soon with a new one. Bye!